Are you wondering how to make money online so that you can move overseas, but you've heard of all these different quote unquote opportunities online and maybe even invested in a couple of them, but they all turned out to be scams? Today in this video, we're going to talk about how to spot the most common scams when it comes to making money online, how you can protect yourself from them, and how to get in the right mindset so that you aren't vulnerable to those types of things.
This is based on our collective 30 plus years of experience making money online in all different kinds of businesses and helping hundreds of people start their own businesses online in completely legitimate ways. Welcome to Entrepreneur Expat.
I'm Justin.
And I'm Amanda. And on this channel, we talk all things making money online legitimately. We talk about doing international business, and we also talk about traveling full-time and living in other countries. So if that is something that you're interested in, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single video that we have coming out on this channel. And we also have a free guide for you that goes along with this video, where we put our 30 plus years of experience into our Make Money From Anywhere guide. It'll show you the top 5 skills that you will need to make money from literally anywhere in the world. You can grab it for free below.
So before we dive in to all of the different types of scams that are there online and what those actually are, how to avoid them and all of that.
And the red flags.
And the red flags. I want to first talk about the mindset of somebody that is very vulnerable to those kinds of scams. Nowadays, with remote jobs becoming harder and harder to get, and with everything in the US and Canada and many, many places just completely going to hell, it might feel to you like the walls are just totally closing in. Like things are getting more and more difficult. Groceries are hard to afford, rent is hard to afford, opportunities are just not what they used to be in comparison to how much life costs in a lot of those places. And so it can cause this feeling of just total desperation and feeling like you really can't do it. And then even when you try to leave, like when you try to leave the US and say, you know what, screw this, I'm out, I want to figure out a way to make money online, you might have been presented with opportunities like you can do stock trading in different forms, or you can do crypto and invest in this crypto exchange, or you can do all of affiliate marketing, you can do this multi-level thing, you can do whatever it is. People have maybe come to you or somebody that you know with an opportunity like that, and because they were just thinking emotionally, they were really desperate, they were saying, whatever it takes to get out of this hellhole, I'm gonna do. They didn't think with their brains, they didn't evaluate things logically, and so they were susceptible to all of those different kinds of scams. So before we even go into detail about what each of those was, I want to talk to you about the mindset, and that's kind of the mindset that a lot of people have these days because they're just really, really, really looking for an out.
Then what happens is, let's say you do get scammed, or something does happen and you lose money, or something didn't work out. Now you think everything is a scam. So now what ends up happening is you're about to get scammed twice. So let me explain how that works from a mindset perspective. First of all, in my 15 years of experience in online business, the interesting thing that I have noticed is that the people who are most terrified of getting scammed are the first ones to get scammed. And the reason for that is because, to your point, they're usually very vulnerable and they're usually making hyper emotional decisions, and they're not using logic and reason. So part of what we're going to do in this video is use logic and reason to help you identify what red flags are in scams, so that when you're in those moments, you can properly evaluate what's going on in that moment without using your emotions, because that's what gets you into trouble. So that's the first way you get scammed. The second way that you get scammed is if you go around thinking that everything is a scam. Then what happens is, when a legitimate opportunity shows up in front of you, you're so terrified that it's a scam that you scam yourself out of getting the help that you need to get to where you want to go. So if you're constantly terrified of being scammed, you're actually get scammed more than anybody.
Yeah, or if you've been scammed in the past by some type of opportunity that was not what they said it was, now you're like hyper aware to anything else that could be an opportunity. It's kind of like saying, you know what, I went to this one gym, it really sucked, the trainers were terrible, I didn't lose any weight, and I ended up hurting my ankle. Maybe that was a shitty coach, a shitty trainer, whatever. And then saying, you know what, I'm never gonna step foot outside of the house or join another gym or exercise again because exercise is a scam. Like, it's not logical, it doesn't make any sense, and you're setting yourself up to be screwed over twice.
Or, for example, you go to a bad restaurant and then you're like, I'm never going to restaurants again. It just doesn't make any logical sense. Or where I see this show up a lot in the online business space over the last 15 years is somebody could have a completely legitimate opportunity in front of them and they're like, that's a scam. I don't want to do that, blah, 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 hyper emotional. And then the next person that they talk to feeds them some bullshit like, oh, pay me $30,000 to be in my energy. I'm not even kidding.
To be in my vibration.
my
It's gonna be awesome.
vibration.
You're gonna have so much money coming
I'm not teaching
in.
you anything. I'm not giving you any skills. You're just going to be in my vibration and magically make more money if you know, if you're in that industry. And then they fork over their credit card for some bullshit like that because they're thinking emotionally. So,
Which really brings us to the number one characteristic and the number one way to tell that something is a scam, which is they're saying that you're going to make a lot of money without a lot of work, without a lot of input. Here's the thing. We believe very firmly in sound economic, micro and macroeconomic principles. So can you make money short term doing something illicit or happenstance or not correct or that goes against most economic principles? Absolutely. But long term, you can't do it. And if you're looking to move overseas and become an entrepreneur expat, you need to have a really good long term plan. Can you make $20,000 by investing your retirement account on the next form of crypto or this coin launch or this exchange or whatever? Yeah, absolutely. And we know a lot of people that have bought crypto extremely low and that have made money off of it. But we know way more people that invested in things like that. Not saying crypto is a scam. There's a lot of legitimate uses for crypto, and I think you definitely could have made a lot of money if you invested when you could get a pizza for 5 Bitcoin. But if you're trying to build wealth long term, it does take work. And if anybody tells you otherwise, they're probably lying.
right. And now some of you might be thinking, well, Amanda and Justin, you say in your videos that you can get results for people quickly. Yes, but it's not without work. And we tell all our clients, look, here's the work and here's the process you need to follow and here's what's expected of you in order for you to get a result at X time. The difference is we can get you results in 90 days to a year where it took us 15 years each to figure
Because
out.
we've made all the mistakes and we've each invested, I know on my end,
Hundreds of
at least
thousands of
$150,000.
Yeah,
Yeah,
hundreds of
in
thousands of
courses,
dollars.
programs, seminars, conferences, traveling the world to go and meet people, study with mentors. And a lot of them had good things to say. A lot of them were a waste of time. But you almost never really know until you do all of that work. And we've taken that work, we've condensed it down and created a system that you can follow to do the same thing in 3 to 6 months that we took many, many years to do. And it's because of the trial and error and because we followed sound business principles. Nothing that we teach, we don't already do in business. None of the things that we talk to you guys about on YouTube,
We're not actually
doing
or we haven't
ourselves
tested
in
it.
life and in
Yeah.
business, both to build this lifestyle as entrepreneur expats and also to build businesses that allow us to be here.
Which is a red flag. If they don't eat their own dog food, it's a red flag.
So number 2, they're teaching you something that they don't already do now or haven't done in the past successfully. I would argue that if they're not currently doing the thing that they're teaching, the likelihood of it either being appropriate or still valid, whether it's even a scam or not, is relatively low. Because look at it this way. The internet and the world and economics and the ways that people can and do make money are changing on a daily basis. That's why in our programs, we have coaching calls in many cases 3 times a week where we really talk about what's working now and give you real-time feedback on how that applies to you and your business. If we were to just be teaching you about something that I did, I'll give you an example.
2012.
I used to run successful Airbnb businesses in LA almost a little over half a decade ago. I'm not going to start a course today to teach you the things that I learned in that business now that I'm not currently doing, because even if it's not a scam, those principles, those things are not still going to be valid today. So you want to make sure if you're looking at any kind of opportunity to make money, to better your life, to do anything really, that the person teaching you that thing is actually eating their own dog food. So if they're not, that's the number 2 red flag that that thing could be a scam.
Number 3 is that there's no actual product or service. And this has actually been happening a lot online. So let me give you an example. One example that happens a lot, particularly in the like women's coaching spaces or the work from home mom spaces and things like that, because unfortunately stay-at-home moms are susceptible to a lot of this stuff. one of the things that occurs is they get into businesses, and then the business model is like, hey, we're just gonna like give you this system, right? But your goal is to sell people into selling the system. Now, this is called a pyramid scheme because there's no actual product or service. All the money is being made on recruiting. Now, if it's a legitimate business and a legitimate business opportunity, there is some sort of product or service that is being sold, and most of the revenue is not contingent upon you recruiting people under you. That's a major red flag. Major red flag if there's no actual product or service being sold.
And that doesn't mean that you can't make a lot of money in some type of direct marketing business. We know people that have been very successful in those kinds of industries.
Yeah, multi-level
We
marketing.
personally don't really do a lot of that because that's just not our approach to business. And we have other ways of making money. Now, we've worked with referral partners, we worked with affiliates that we give commissions to them in many cases, or discounts or other special programs or access to our programs.
Some exchange of value.
Exchange of value because they are promoting our products and services. But the core offer there, the core thing that's being sold and that's generating value in the marketplace is an actual product that gets delivered, that gets executed, that gets results. It's not the system. You can't be, a coach teaching coaches to coach coaches ad infinitum or whatever you call it, because there's no real value there. Yeah, it's just this big circle jerk, and it doesn't work.
Here's a way that this shows up. If your first business was being a business coach, you probably
should not be a business
coach. That's the way it comes up as well. Other ones, and there's such a long list here, guys. We're trying to get through them. So lack of transparency is another really big one. And the way that this might show up is like, let's say you're asking somebody questions. Like recently we had somebody join us in our Effortless Revenue Mastermind. They came very well prepared, and they came with a list of questions. We answered every single one without a problem. We're like, hey, do you want us to show you our YouTube stats? Like, they're right here. Do you want to see it? Yeah. Do you want us to show you a demo of the actual video trainings that we have? We're open books, right? So if somebody's not willing to do those things, and they're kind of like sidestepping it when you ask them,
you have to sign up before you can get access to any of it, before you can talk to anyone, before you can see any testimonials. It's all top secret. You've got to sign an NDA. Yeah, that's a big red flag.
Red flag. Another one is if they use a lot of word salad, right? So if what they're selling you sounds like word salad, it's because it's probably word salad.
Oh, we've built this next generation AI technology that's completely top secret and will allow you to easily seek out and deliver opportunities in the Web 2.0 space that blah, 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 blah.
Word salad doesn't mean anything. So another one is if they use high pressure tactics. So this is actually something that we teach our clients, because I've been in sales for 16 years. And there's a difference between influencing somebody and manipulating someone. So I'm going to give you guys a sales lesson right now. Because one of the best things about learning sales is you not only learn how to influence people to help them and you make more money, but you also learn how to spot manipulation so you don't fall prey to these things. So there's a difference in sales between manipulation and influence. Influence is fine. Influence uses logic to get to a deal, okay? Logic, not high pressure emotion. So if somebody is using a lot of high pressure emotion to try and get you to fork over their credit card, it's a scam. Because they should be able to get you to sign up just based on logic. So if they're not using logic and they're just using a lot of high pressure emotion, scam. What's an example of what that sounds like? Like, let's say you tell somebody no. Honestly, yeah, I'm not interested on that. And then suddenly they flip it on you and they're like, wait, are you really gonna let $4,000 stand in the way of you and your dreams? That's emotional manipulation. So that is a red flag. Or another way that this shows up is if you tell somebody no, which by the way, it's completely okay for you to tell a salesperson no, or whoever you're talking to, and then they get like very kind of like weirdly emotional and aggressive, right? Rather than trying to help you to find a solution that benefits all parties, but mostly you. And
yeah, you'll learn also when you go through our sales training programs and our business programs that sales is all about the value that you can deliver to the other person. So I'll give you an example. We talk to people all the time that we turn away from our programs. We say something like, listen, I don't think you're a really good fit for this program. Maybe there's another program that would benefit them or that would be a better fit. But for instance, if you sign up for one of our business coaching programs, you're not actually doing the homework and performing and doing the work that we say you need to do in order to grow your business, we're going to kick you out. And the reason is we've got a community of people. Everybody that's in there is there for the benefit of the other people and to help them grow their businesses too. And if you're a bad apple, then you're just hurting everybody else and hurting your own success. So it's about having standards as well. So that's another thing, is if they don't have standards for who they'll let into the program, then that is another red flag to look at.
100%.
One of the other ones is if there is no, if there is like a guarantee of success, if there's no, you need to do the work in order to get the result, and they just say you're gonna experience success no matter what. You pay us X amount of money, and we're gonna give you
energy. Pay me to be in my energy,
and you're gonna become rich, right? Like if you hear something like that, run as fast as you can, because if they're saying that there's a guarantee of success
without you working,
it's one thing to say, look, here are our results. On average, our clients have gotten X, Y, and Z. Here's what they did. Here's their business model. But if they just say, pay us $10,000, pay us $20,000, we're going to guarantee that you're going to get 100. That is a surefire scam, because if anybody could do that, why would they need you to implement their system to get that money? Why wouldn't they just keep doing more of it for themselves? Right?
100%. There's actually a list here of red flags. This was actually one of my most popular Facebook posts, because unfortunately, this stuff does happen. So I want to tell you guys some more red flags. All right, so here are some other red flags that aren't just you have been scammed, but you also might be in a weird culty situation, because unfortunately that also happens a lot on social media and the internet right now too. So number one, right, if the leader of whatever thing that opportunity you're looking into likes to be idolized, red flag. Another thing,
Or if they're infallible.
We're
very fallible,
red
honey.
flag.
I know, maybe you're not, but I'm definitely fallible.
Right, like if you present us some data, we're open to seeing the data. Another thing that happens is, let's say you're already in a situation or a program and everything is your fault and your energy and your mindset, but nothing is their fault, or they haven't taken responsibility for anything, where it's appropriate, obviously, to take responsibility. Red flag. Another one that comes up a lot is if you're in very high emotion environments. This is actually a tactic that a lot of scammers use, and high control groups use to take advantage of people. So that's also a major red flag. And mostly if they just, gaslight you all the time and tell you everything is your fault, even though you're not getting results. And you know that you've been putting in the work, right? So if you've been putting in the work and you're not getting results, and you go to them and they're like, hey, look, I'm just not really getting results, and all they do is gaslight you about how you didn't do the work and your energy is off and your mindset is off, red flag. Now, if you haven't done shit and you go to them and they tell you, well, dude, you haven't done shit, that's a different story. All right. And then two more, so you guys are aware and you don't fall for these situations. So number one is if they have very high demands of their clients or followers, right? So if you're noticing there's very high demands, or they're asking you to do illegal things, or they're asking you to do illicit things, or it's consuming your entire life, red flag.
Or another one, and I've seen this in large group training programs and different things like that, whether they're in person or online, is if they're trying to disconnect you from your community, your society,
your friends, your
family, also huge red flag. Run, don't walk.
Right. Not in like a, hey, let's have a real conversation about whether or not these people are actually your friends based on what they're telling you and maybe you're outgrowing them. That happens. We mean more like these people are suppressing you. These people are holding you back. You need to cut off all communication with everybody in your family. Red flag. And then the final red flag here, and this goes back to the manipulation thing I was talking about in sales, is if they gather very vulnerable information from you and then use it against you. Red flag. Major red flag. So, for example, the way that you know that you're being manipulated or it's a scam is if they're trying to get you to do something that definitely benefits them, but does not necessarily benefit you. A legitimate opportunity, a legitimate business, somebody who's not trying to take advantage of you, what they're trying to find is a win win where everybody gets benefit, not just the person trying to sell something to you. So, I think that about covers it based on our long time in this space and seeing a lot of things over the years. We hope you guys found this helpful. And we hope, let us know in the comments below if you've experienced any of this, seen any of this. Was this helpful for you? And if you want to know about legitimate skills that can help you make money from anywhere in the world, then download the free guide below.
Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you on the next video. Have an amazing day.